All I'm going to say is his scores today were 856, 76, or 7878. And Robin was in his chat asking, is this your new phone number?
Oh my god.
That was brutal. And then he promptly ended stream after he went bot 4 again. It is not looking
I'll put
good.
it this way. I basically never play the game. I'm better than Soju at this patch right now.
Wow.
I don't even think it's close.
Well, everybody, welcome back for another episode of Don't Talk If You Don't Know, the official podcast dedicated to all things high-level teamfight tactics in the Americas. We're expanding yet again. Today is Tactician's Cup preview number 1. It's April 25th. It's also earlier than usual. It's noon because Bryce actually has a hard out at 1.5 hours. So people who are upset that we regularly go over 2 hours on our podcast episodes, good news. We're going to end on time today in 90 minutes. Bryce, how you doing, buddy?
Do people get upset about that? Because if so, my bad.
I don't think anyone's
it's at least 50% my fault usually. What can I say? I like to yap. The podcast is the forum where I get to yap the most. I'm doing great. My kids slept great, not 1 but 2 nights in a row.
Okay.
What a time to be alive.
We love that. We love that for you. Okay, great.
That's a high roll.
Today we have 2 special guests from the lab because they will be competing this weekend at the Tactician's Cup number 1, which is, by the way, a brand shift from the usual like Heartsteel Cup. KD Cups will be knew it in the past, and even in previous sets it was like Dragon Cup, Jade Cup, Astro Cup, things like that. So first, we welcome to the guest Painplosion, a new addition to the lab. How you doing, Pain? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, that's me. Pain. I refuse to say it. But hi everyone. I'm glad to be here.
How's life been? How's the set been for you? This is our first episode of the entire set. So talk about your set 11 Inkborn Fables so far.
I'm gonna admit I kind of didn't like the set a lot at first. A lot of stuff like encounters just like weren't my jam, and I think I'm pretty good at reroll. I don't think I was ever like bad at any of the patches. I just didn't play that much. Mm-hmm. But like a lot of the early meta was just like not very fun. I do think this meta is like a pretty big step in the right direction. I mean, I think it's gone maybe too far in that direction, as in we've slightly killed off reroll. And I don't like the idea of playing for a 3-star 4-cost every game. But if we can tune down 4-cost a little bit, which the proposed changes seem reasonable. I certainly don't hate this patch as much, and I'm excited to be able to compete.
Okay. Aren't you after like a 2? I watched your stream the other day.
Yeah, I mean, I was like I don't know, it was like 2.8 or something.
Xiao's is usually a 2.5 over like 6 games. Usually.
Pretty good. 6 games. That's the right number of games to practice.
That is the magic number. That is the magic number. For the first time on our show as well, we have Broseph from the lab. Broseph, you've been a long-time competitor, kind of grinding through the ranks, and now it's your first time on the show. Welcome. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm really happy to be here. When Bryce messaged me to like come on, I was like, holy shit, I actually get to get on the show. So yeah, I didn't even think about that when I made it to week 3. Or week 2. So yeah, I'm very happy to be here. I am looking forward to yapping. I think I have some things to say about, I don't know, I guess the meta and also just like my experience in general. So yeah, looking forward to it.
That's great. Give us a little bit of a background of you as a player. When did you start? When did you start taking it seriously? And what do you think is the biggest jump you've made as a competitor?
Yeah, so I started playing in set 3.5. That was my first set. My friends kind of introduced me to it. They're like, they taught me how to play Star Guardian reroll or like Star Guardians, vertical Star Guardians on one of those patches. And then I hit Masters in a month and then just kept playing from then. I first hit Challenger in 4.5, jamming ASOL over and over, taking a lot of inspiration from how Ramblin played at Regional. So he was like one of my early influences, and then from then, after I hit Challenger, I decided I wanted to play more competitively. I started climbing the ladder. The first tournament I went to, I qualified was in like set 5. It was on the Shadow Blue Buff LeBlanc patch. So yeah, I was like playing that every game. I was playing that every game. You just jam Shadow Blue or the secret tech on that patch was you didn't need Shadow Blue, like regular blue was fine as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been playing a lot of tournaments since then. A lot of tournaments end in the same way. But yeah, I think the biggest improvement I made was throughout set 8 or not set 8, later, like mid set 9, later set 9, when I'd always been like pretty solid, I think, at early game compared to my skill level. But
Okay.
my late game was usually pretty bad. I think I did a lot to like work on when I was supposed to roll, how much to roll, and like not dying on 8 with too much gold. Yeah,
Interesting.
I see yapping emotes in the chat, so I'll cut it.
It's all good.
Ignore it.
Yapping is
Rule
what it's
number
for.
1: don't take chat seriously.
You're known far and wide as a ladder terrorist, but I don't know why.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
you have
so
a reputation to be a ladder terrorist by your friends.
Okay.
What does that mean?
Okay, so the reason why, so the first instance was, I was watching Disho stream. I see him do this cool thing where he generates 18 gold out of thin air, and then I do the same thing on ladder, and then like I probably shouldn't have like typed about it, but like people were pinging it. They were like pinging the fact that I maybe had it just on a 3 on my bench. Anyways, they were pinging it. I like typed back, and then like I'm like
Turtle bug.
like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about, and then yeah, that was like where it started.
Wait,
and then like
with bug abusing?
no, I was
My
playing
sense of rank 2
Some of the
bug
time-
user on the ladder. Rank 2, rank 2.
some of the
one?
time.
Clear.
Oh,
Oh yeah, it's clear.
Oh, I see.
Clear was bug abusing our in-house, our PB in-houses with the arena to make our fucking our core carries lose auto attacks. Yeah, and
Oh, man.
that was some egregious stuff.
That's
And
how
then-
you know. That's how you know that this guy is a true bug abuser because he tries to deflect the blame to somebody else. Like, oh yeah, I'm bad, but what about this
I would
guy?
never do such a thing. I would never. I didn't do that. I would never do such a thing. I saw a bunch of my
you
clients.
did. It sounds like you did such a thing. Didn't you?
No,
just say that you did such a thing.
No, I didn't. I may have done such a thing, but I didn't do such a thing. Anyways, continuing on. The other instance is just like aggressive leveling on ladder. Like I'm sitting here 45 gold 3-2. Like I'm gonna level to 7 is 28 gold. If I win, I can sell this like pair, make 30. So I'm gonna be level 7 3-2 or like level 5 2-5 if I took
Wait,
Econ.
that math didn't math. You said you were 42 gold. You're gonna level and you can make 30.
Oh,
you can make 10.
Something like that.
He's
So,
already
no,
over leveled at 3-1, Bryce. You forgot.
Something like that. I promise on that patch I was not actually griefing my Econ to level. I'll say that much.
All right, man.
Very
One tip for you, Broseph. Read the Constitution because what you say can and will be used against you in court.
Oh god,
Oh,
damn!
I'm in
that
a
is
different
not
country
in the
world.
fucking Constitution, man. That is. This guy's fucking
tip for
quoting
me:
his
read
Miranda
the
rights.
Constitution again, and then consult Bryce because
I like
you
he'll put in the
definitely-
TFT Constitution.
I like, yeah, hire a
oversharing
lawyer.
and self-reporting. No worries. It's actually the embarrassing part is I used to be on a Constitution debate team, but I kind of forgot. All right, well, don't use it or lose it. Welcome to the show, everybody. That was an intro. Hope you guys got to know Rain or Plainplosion, as well as Broseph. Let's talk about some things that's been happening in the news to catch up. The first thing that we talked about was the patch. We can kind of brush over it, broad strokes, mainly because this patch is actually outdated. It's since been B-patched. But the main thing that's been happening at the start of the set was that there was a lot of reroll, right? Bard was really prevalent, for example, and then people caught on to Yone, and then a bunch of other rerolls. Then, in the most recent major patch, the A patch, we saw a huge buff to 4 and 5 costs, giving them tons of HP, as well as nerfing 3 cost reroll odds, kind of reducing it from 40 to 36, I think, and making it really awkward. So a lot of people aren't rerolling. And now a lot of people feel like, well, instead of just playing like a reroll lottery, it feels a lot like a 4-cost lottery. This is not in the agree, actually, but I kind of want to wonder, as a person that plays a lot of 4-cost Pain, you actually agree with that. Do you think it's a 4-cost lottery?
It's a forecast game for sure. I mean, some of it is a lottery. Like sometimes there's not much you can do. Like nobody actually item holds for Ashe. So the person who hits Ashe 2 and 2 has a lot of advantages about the person who doesn't. But like aside from Ashe and Kaisa, I think there's a lot of play you can do with your game. Like Kane is usually the default in Heavenly, for example, but you can carry Lee Sin quite well. You can carry Silas. Sage has become like a recent comp that you can play for. So it is a lottery, but I definitely think you can put yourself in a spot where your odds are way better than the guys around you. So
Okay, Broseph, what do you think?
Yeah, I tend to agree with what she said. I think there's fair stuff you can do. There's some stuff that I've been doing too. That
Okay, trying not to
show
leave
or Setsuko stream, but it involves me playing no units without fortune and going 8th. So I'll just say that much.
Okay. Bryce, you've been actually kind of talking about a lot of times in the back channels how you weren't really a fan of how the set started, and now it feels like it might be gravitating closer to what you enjoy. And you don't really hold back, so I kind of want to hear your honest feedback, because these people are trying to hold a little bit of tech back. What's your thoughts on the meta?
Oh, I have nothing to hold back. I got nothing to play for. I enjoyed the first patch. I thought that the second and third patches were dog shit. So much so that I just didn't play. For me, they're like bottom tier patches, like not the worst patch of all time. Neither of those patches in the conversation for worst patch of all time, but both of them are like a 2 out of 10 for me and are below the threshold at which I'm willing to play TFT. So the only games of TFT that I played were like, I have free time. We're all fucking TFT addicts here, right? Like everybody in this call is, and probably most people in the chat. So every once in a while, you're like, I need some TFT, and so I'd get on and I'd play, and I'd be like, but this sucks. And so then I would make it between 1, 2, 3 games max, and then I'd be like, I can't do this anymore, and I'd stop. And most days I would if I would have to be days between playing, I'd be like, oh, that's right, this game sucks. I forgot. So this new patch, it's definitely not a 4-cost lottery. It's a 4-cost meta. The lottery is when it's like there's 1 or 2 lines, narrow units, and you just have to full send, like when we have these 4-1 4-cost metas where it's like that. Those are lotteries. Everyone's sending because they like have to, because you need specific 4 costs. You need them 2-starred. There's lots of 4-cost room to play, like lots of combinations of boards that can get you to level 9, lots of units to play around, lots of ways to build your items to be a little bit more flexible on level 8. This patch is not. I would say it's I err on the side of good. It's still stylistically narrow, but if it's going to be stylistically narrow, I'd much rather it be narrow around 4 and 5 costs and around reroll. Personally, I think that's where like TFT is played. But there's almost no incentive to play before level 8 right now, which is a huge problem. So the patch is like a 6 out of 10 for me. But I am, in comparison to the last patches, this is like I'm a kid in a candy store. I'm playing TFT again. I'm having fun.
Interesting. Spoken like a true person who is getting to be a state of being an addict in TFT. Bryce, if you're a real TFT addict, those intervals aren't days long, they're hours long. You kind of like, you untilt, you finally stop tilt queuing, you peel yourself away, maybe you go work out, maybe you go watch a stream, maybe you go eat dinner, something like that. You come back and you're like, okay, never mind. This time for sure, you sit down, you play another few games. It's only hours, man. You get the luxury of having days between your TFT.
It's not a luxury. It's actually, this is just the reality. So I can't consistently play TFT at any point in time in my life, and there's always trade-offs. So if I'm playing a bunch of TFT, there's trade-offs in other areas, like I'm working less, or I'm sleeping less, or I'm with my family less. So if the game is bad, then I'm like, even if I want to be playing every day, even when the game is bad, I'm like, well, okay, I have to take breaks from TFT at some point in my life, so I might as well take it right now. So like by not playing TFT for those 2 patches, my wife even commented, she's like, hey, you haven't played very much TFT lately. I was like, yeah, you're right, I haven't, but I'm going to soon.
Oh, no. I had that devious smile and that eyebrow raise. Okay, that's good to hear. I also do agree with Bryce. I think that in terms of the way narrow patches can be, this is one of the best versions of it, but it's still something that I think could be massively improved. And improvements is coming. There's some changes coming up that Mortdog tweeted, including things like more changes to player damage, more changes to shop odds, and additional increases to EXP leveling, as well as changing things like encounter frequency, such as, for example, one of the most complained about encounters, Kha'Zix lowering the cost of EXP for 3 turns is going to be straight up removed, as well as things like getting additional duplicators, either for Cho'Gath, Nico, and Syndra's very rare. I actually never encountered this carousel, but Syndra apparently has a 2-star 4-cost carousel, which is leading to a bunch of 3-star 4-costs, which I think...
Did you see the Emily Wang game on that one?
I did not. I heard about it as it was happening. She said that like 5 or 6 people had 3-star 4-costs or something like ridiculous like that. Which
yeah, it was in tournament. It was very sad to watch.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. General take, thumbs up, thumbs down. Broseph, what do you think about some of these changes?
So from what I've seen, the changes kind of deal with some of the problems. The main thing, I looked at the player damage rather closely because it matters to my playstyle, is that the damage changes make stage 4 and onwards do more damage, but doesn't do anything before stage 4. Like the player damage is the same, where I thought like there was a larger problem. Like, I don't know, I don't think that it's great that like a third of the time I think I should open, but I think it's right a lot of the time now, because you just preserve enough HP and you get to beat the rest of the lobby down later when you have a lot more money on stage 4, and that makes that a little.
I have to interrupt here. This guy says a third of the time. I feel like
I think I should
understand. No. You need to understand that this guy opens about 90% of his games.
So what he's saying is a third of those times he's right to be doing it.
Yeah, a third of the time that's correct.
Which is too high. I agree with that for what it's worth. I think that one of the core problems of the game is there's not enough incentive to play until level 8, and this doing back-end damage changes does not. And yes, it will reduce 3-star 4 costs, but so would adding early game damage. And I think TFT is a much better game when there's reason to play level 6. And most patches there's not right now, and I don't think these changes are going to help that.
I do think, ironically enough, Encounters makes you play things a little bit differently on stage 2 and 3, whether it's augments that are mistimed, whether you're incentivized to roll right now because your rerolls are refreshed or like lost at the end of the round. I think that's actually like somewhat point of irony, where some people are like, like this is so bad. But I that's one thing I like about Encounters. It makes you play stage 2 and 3 differently in a lot of games.
So it makes it play it differently, but I concluded that a lot of the time it was more advantageous for someone who had more money and less HP, especially on this patch. So like when you get dropped 3 components, like you have when you get dropped like 3 components or 2 component anvils, you can use those better. I think if you're going fast 8 and have higher quality units and can hit those units faster, and then can jam them on your Silas 2 Regalia or whatever. For
sure. And I do think that I think it's going to be interesting to see if it works out against a consistently powerful lobby who. Because admittedly, and we're going to talk about this, I think that there was a noticeable, like, massive skill chasm on the first week that didn't punish those boards as hard. Before we get into that, though, a couple of other pieces of news. This one's really sad. Pro TFT has actually closed down, which is actually a big loss for the community. It's a lot of things that people don't care about unless you're part of the community plugged in. And even if the competitive community, and even if you are part of the competitive community, you might not even understand how important this was for tracking a lot of things like player stats and results across multiple regions, so you can kind of have a reference of things. But the reality was, the man who's in charge of this, Lucas, said that this ended up absorbing most of his life because he felt obligated to commit so much of his time that he actually like lost a lot of things like his social life, and it was affecting a lot of his relationships. And it wasn't just like I actually offered to say like, hey, is it like a paid thing? Can I like fundraise for you? And he said, no, I just need to actually get my life back. It's not about being paid and worthwhile investment. I just felt like I lost who I was. So a little bit sad thing. And I do hope that this can continue to stay, because tracking results on Liquipedia is only part of the picture, right? It's not tracking the average placement and the actual trajectory of people's careers. Some people in this call might be happy about that, of their AVPs not being tracked across tournaments. But I do think that in general, this is a pretty big value loss. Rest in peace. We have other really sad news since the start of the sets. It's been announced officially that the main broadcast will basically cease to exist for cups, where no longer for anything like Tactician's Cups or even Trials or the equivalent of, there's going to be no more broadcasts. Instead, it's only going to be focused on the regional level competition, aka the Golden Spatula, and the World's level competition, aka the Tactician Crown. And it's rough. EMEA announced that after this season, they're closing down, but North America, it's already closed down. It's actually just, they got called in, and it was pretty rough. It was something that I think a lot of people say it's not surprising, but it still doesn't make it any less disappointing. But
no, I mean, I feel for the people, for our colleagues, casting colleagues, the people who worked on these. There's a lot of talented, hardworking people whose opportunity in the space has been dramatically diminished, and I'm sad for that. I can agree with the call and also mourn the loss.
Yep. And hopefully, I mean, sometimes I do invite some of those commentators to come onto the coach stream. There is going to be a lot more co-stream thing. Rise has said they're going to invest into that program, a little bit more on that later. In the meantime, there's been a complete restructure to the competitive system. Now, instead of having like day 1s and day 2s of cups, they call them Tactician's Trials, and they're its own separate entity. We're about to go into a Tactician's Cup, which is effectively day 3 and day 4 of those previous tournaments you've seen. But even before that, there's something called a sub-regional tournament, which is something specific into your native region. So for North America right now is competing with LATAM and Brazil in the Tactician's Trials and Cups. But there's also a NA-only tournament through things like a sub-regional tournament. And then there's LATAM-only tournaments. There's only Brazil tournaments, so on and so forth. And that started off with something called Ascension of the Ages, which Rainplosion did compete. And we're really happy that she got top 8. Plosion. Any thoughts on the top 8 results here? How was the Ascension of the Ages from an outside observer perspective?
As someone watching from the outside who did not play in the tournaments, it seems like a lot of it, like, I don't know, if you're a player who is a competitive player who is fighting for one of the top slots already, day 1 and 2 are like not that meaningful. Day 3, obviously you get to actually fight for the prize pool itself is actually quite reasonable, but it requires you being willing to sit through the slog of day 1 and 2, and because it was a sub-regional event run by in this case the Asia system, there was a lot of pain points with a tournament that big, which I know for a fact that the tournament organizers are working to fix for hopefully the next sub-regional, because I don't know who else other than Asia is going to run one for NA.
Boise's is running one, which is an announcement coming up right after this.
Oh, right.
That's right. There was a lot of administrative headaches. I do think one thing that they're encountering is, I think the way we used to run tournaments scaled for 100 players mostly, 128. When we're scaling this for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, 500 people, even one person taking a bathroom break or just is not there for the ready check, or something happens like a DC because their internet is not really up to snuff, is holding up many people, and there's a domino effect of delays and delays and delays. It takes forever to do things. And then because of the sheer amount of manual input, right? You have to manually report 500 players scores for the round, and if you get one of them wrong, it's a headache, so they have to double check. It makes these rounds so long. I coached this event. It was a nightmare.
The original versions of these open tournaments way back in set 3 were run by different organizations, and Team Liquid was one of the people, and those, they were a disaster. Things broke and it didn't work, and it was really negative for Team Liquid in the space, so they got out. But they were actually really close to something. They were in the process of developing a Discord bot that would allow auto reporting, where you would basically react with one of the emotes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for what your place was, and so it auto populated, and it was really close to working. Would have made a lot of this stuff a lot better. I wish we could find a way to bring something like that back, because it could make a lot of this so much more smooth.
We are still stuck with the exact same tech as we started with, which is Google Sheets and Discord screenshot reporting. That's literally the tech that we started off with 4 years later into TFT tournaments. Actually, we're actually coming up on the 5-year anniversary of TFT. We're still doing this shit. I think we need something better. Google Sheets was not made for this type of thing, especially because there's also another element of even refreshing the sheet takes forever to get results because of all the population and the traffic load. It's a headache. This is not towards Ages. This is more towards whoever is in charge of overseeing the trajectory roadmap for TFT esports. We gotta find a better way. Because not only is this long, but this is draining people's enthusiasm for competing. I mean, you two have competed in a lot, and it feels like 6 days of draining competition, and for the 2 sub-regional events, maybe 9 days leading up to the final weekend. That's not even playing the final weekend where the stakes are the highest. It just feels like too much. I'm not sure if you guys disagree, but Broseph, what do you think?
Yeah, you're just really tired. After day 2, you're really tired because you played 12 games. You probably review the night before. You're probably playing in the morning. You're playing at least 12, if not 12, 15 plus games in 2 days. And that's not even counting the final day, which ends up being midday on a Monday, which doesn't allow some people to play even. So, yeah,
true.
the structure.
About people who have jobs or other responsibilities, or even just making plans for it, because you don't even know if you're going to make Monday. So you have to take Monday off of the possibility that you make it that far.
until they change the format, I'll never play in a TFT tournament ever again, which is pretty sad. Like, I can't justify taking like just doing the weekend is really hard already, but then also taking a Friday off in the front end, and then if I do well, taking a Monday off on the back end, like, it's just not going to happen. It's just not in the cards for me, at least not for years.
It's ridiculous overkill right now, and I appreciate what they're trying to do. Right, you might be thinking, well, who thought this format was even good? A lot of people are throwing out things like, did someone just copy paste EMEA and just called it a day, which they kind of did low key, but I do want to say that it's because they want to cast a wide net and give a lot of people chances to enter. Essentially, the Aegis was priority sign up based on who signed up first. That was who got in. It was like, it doesn't matter if you are a top challenger. If you didn't sign up in time, you would get a lower priority. So they're trying to cast a wide net, which I appreciate the spirit of, but I think perhaps the net has too many holes in it.
Yeah, my take on this is do the wide net on the event, like essentially the Aegis. People like Rain should not want to play
wherever
this. It should
is.
be a slog at a level, wherever she is. It should not be incentivized to play in this. It should be such a slog to get to where you want to be that it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
But it's a great way of being inclusive and getting more people a chance to have a shot at competitive and the dream of playing in a big cup. I'm all for that. I just think that expanding the number of competitors and the days of competition this much for the cups is going to sort out a lot of people that have life commitments that I don't think we should be sorting out. I don't think we're optimizing for the right things personally.
Yeah. Do you want to give a shout out? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, within the lab, for example, like, there's a lot of people who just couldn't play. Kanger's just, I think he dropped out of the tournament. Maki, Maki, like, didn't like literally drop out of the tournament, but like he just decided not to try at all, and he
It's because he couldn't play on Monday.
Yeah, a lot of people weren't really trying very hard and or like literally couldn't play, so they dropped out. So I mean, the amount of people playing from the lab will be less because unfortunately some people in the lab, have jobs where they can't.
I do want to say one thing. I read so many complaints over this past weekend that I felt compelled to message Riot directly, and they said they agree in spirit. They don't know the solution. They definitely feel like it's been a significant miss, especially for the Americas. They don't know what the solution is, though. They need to figure out how to best accomplish their goals. But it is something that they're going to try to look for set 12 onwards. For set 11, it might be too late to change, though. We'll see. Sure. Because we're basically set 11 sub-regional events are coming up. Shout out to JD, by the way. JD Zielinski dominated this tournament. That last 8th place was him taking a victory lap in full Mimi. I think he played like Kabuko reroll or something like that. And so he absolutely stomped the field and crushed it. And then because of it, like, these sub-regionals are worth playing in. He got a spot in Tactician's Cup. He got to skip the trials, had to skip the snapshot alongside Aaron Kuma, Stellar Minhee, and Pun. Pokygom got 5th, but he didn't need it anyway because he got in through snapshots. So good job. Other sub-regionals, you're like, okay, cool, there's a sub-regional event. What can I look forward to? Boise's prominent North American tournament host also has helped other things like Summit, for example, in the Vegas land. He is in charge of running the next sub-regionals event happening next weekend. And signups are open now. And it's a lottery-based system, I think, based off of some criteria. So you're not guaranteed. It's not a speed. So don't like, okay, it's first come, first serve. I think it's partial about it. It's going to be happening next weekend, though, so make sure to check that out. And then the second sub-regional event, which is actually really exciting, is another North American LAN, May 30th to June 2nd, DreamHack Dallas. TFT is coming to DreamHack Dallas as a LAN. Now, this is really short notice, I know. It's like in a month. A lot of people can't move their plans last-minutely, but hey, maybe that's actually to your advantage if you actually can go. A lot of people can't make it, so your chances of making it through sub-regional are actually pretty high. So if you're local to DreamHack in any way, like a few-hour drive, you should go, I think.
Agreed.
Okay. All right, so with that being said, let's go ahead and close out the news and transition to the Tactician's trials. Over the weekend, it was a little bit of a bloodbath on multiple fronts. The first I think people want to talk about is that not too many people surprised, but North America dominated in terms of the population proportion. NA started off with a blistering 3.89 to start off the day. And I think to start off the first day, and I think it has something absurd like an 80+%, like an 82% advancement rate compared to Brazil and LATAM. And I think I kind of want to get a little perspective from people who play in the trial. So Broseph, is this actually true? Do you feel like this was reflective in your own experience? Is this actually fake? Talk to me about it.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure NA had. I think the main thing to remark about NA is just the pure depth of the talent. Like we have basically everyone who got into was like challenger or like high GM was basically stomping the lobbies because they were playing against like 3 or 4 people who didn't play the early game super well, especially on day one. So like they're picking slightly weak augments or they're like delaying slamming items that they should be making. All that stuff combined with like stage 3, stage 4, like just being slightly weaker, just allows people who have had like the reps on the NA server do a lot better in those lobbies compared to even how they would do on ladder. I think for myself, the main thing that like benefited me is that people especially on day 1, weren't very strong on stage 4. So if you like hobble together like a half decent board on level 8, you could go straight 9, put in your 5 costs and basically win the game that way. So that was like my experience and what I kind of saw.
Okay. Pain, from what you've seen, what were you observing throughout the weekend?
So I will admit, I actually struggled way more across the tournament than like I thought I would. And I think a lot of that was just due to varying lobby strengths. Some lobbies you play against like 7. Some lobbies there are like 7 like could make regional tier NA players. And then like some lobbies I recognize one name. I don't know, just like the strength between like different varying sets of lobbies, and it was like really, really immediately evident as soon as like loaded in and started playing the game. That it's just like so different. Depending on if you like high roll your lobby or not.
Yeah, I do want to say a couple of things about that. I'm glad that you pointed it out. The first is that not everybody that signed up from Brazil and LATAM were eligible or rather, everyone who was eligible that might have been interested in signing up didn't actually do that. There were actually legitimately Emerald and Diamond players from LATAM and Brazil because those were the highest ranked people that signed up that they still had spots for. And they have way more, like surely you can tell me that like the bottom of challenger players wouldn't be interested in competing over literally Emerald players. And not to call him out, because I do think he played well over the weekend and had a significant edge, but JD in the Ascension of the Ages kept doing well in his lobby, so he's top seed, and he keeps going up against the people who did the worst, aka the Emerald players. So there was a kind of an ongoing meme throughout the weekend that JD was just farming Emerald players and bullying him repeatedly because he just kept doing better and is snake seeded, so he keeps getting the bottom seeds. While everyone else who's kind of like in that middle, they don't start out hot. They kind of keep struggling against people who are like seeded. And we had like a crazy lobby, I think, in Ascension of the Ages.
We were both in the lobby.
It was like 8 people who had made regionals or basically were like a few points off of making regionals. It was bananas.
I would like to point out that we went top 2 in that lobby.
Wait, both games?
It was
Ascension of the Ages is.
It was like Broseph, Rainplosion, Wasian, Kyvix, like Minhee. It was a crazy lobby, and then literally another lobby was like all Diamond players. The seeding got messed up, so seeding does play a big factor. That is one thing. The second thing I do want to say is that I think we kind of already knew this. The very best of LATAM and Brazil could always compete at that world level, but it's the depth, right? We talked about that depth, like you mentioned. So we'll see. I do think it's interesting to at least bring this up. There's also the players that didn't make it, right? That's all to say that we didn't have every favorite player go through. Here is the list of notable names that have fallen in the first weekend. Spetham, Basso Skills, but Basso Skills didn't check in. I think he actually quit after day 1. Ramblin, Emily Wang, Kiyun, Jukyu, Ramkev, Kyvix, Noster, and Goobums. The biggest of these names competitively is Goobums, former rank 1, but he's basically casual competitive at this point. I think the expectations of him going through is not very high, even by his own admission. But I think the biggest surprise for players like Kiyun, I think came off a really hot set 10. He said in his own words that not even Faker himself could play out of his spots because he's low rolled. I'm not sure. I didn't actually watch his VODs. I don't know if anyone else got a chance. Bryce, did you see it?
Didn't see his VODs. Kiyun's a pretty reliable narrator, I think. I mean, just the screenshots that he tweeted were like, yeah, I get it. I would be frustrated.
Double backwards Nautilus ult.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be frustrated too for sure. I'm not sure. I'm sure this patch had enough skill expression on it that if Kiyun was a beast at this patch, there is a 0% chance he would have gotten eliminated, in my opinion.
Yeah. There is funny though that Milk posted a screenshot under that tweet. I'm sorry I don't actually have it, but he posted a screenshot of Kiyun saying that it's a really skill expressive patch, and that he really likes. He's like, thank God we finally have a skill expressive patch and everything like that. So, it's good to have Milk back. It's good to have.
Wait, did Kadru get opening weekend?
No, he was
dropped out
play.
on too.
Oh,
He was totally fine, but like, you know, he just didn't see the point that he literally couldn't play. So.
Yeah. Which is again a plea to all the tournament organizers, which they are working on it. In case you guys missed that previous part, we don't want to exclude people. Speaking of excluding people, we do have a snub list. Here are the people who got votes but didn't make the top 15. And there's 3 tiers. For the first time since set 7 at the very beginning, Soju has not made a top 15. He actually barely missed by 5 or 6 points. Is that warranted? That's actually really interesting. Usually Soju's like always consistently there. Everyone believes in him, but this time a lot of doubters of whether or not Soju can pull it up in time before the tournament, Bryce.
14th. So it's the lowest I've rated him in a long time. I did not think he was in particularly good form, but I do think that a 4-cost fast 8-centric meta where there's room to cook on level 8 is theoretically a meta that he should be very good at.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't like to play the early and mid game. He doesn't like to play the mid game anyway.
Yeah.
Right? He's gonna skip it even if it's correct to not. He's gonna skip it most of the time. So I feel like I feel like he belongs on this. If he were to play the tournament today, I don't think it would go that well. But I also think he's more than capable of pulling it together.
Dude, he has 24 hours. He has 24 hours.
So how many times have we been in the situation with Soju, man, where it's like, there's 24 hours left. He can't do it this time. It's like, yeah, he fucking can. He just needs someone with a finger all the way on the pulse of this meta to give him a full download, and then it'll click in his brain.
All I'm going to say is his scores today were 8-5-6, 7-6, or 7-8-7-8. And Robin was in the chat asking, is this your new phone number?
Oh my God.
That was brutal. And then he promptly ended stream after he went bot 4 again. It is not looking good.
I'll put it this way. I basically never play the game. I'm better than Soju at this patch right now.
Wow.
I don't even think it's close.
Okay. T-Light's getting...
I do have to say, I do want to interrupt a little bit. I think it's actually a misnomer to say that Soju doesn't play the early game. I think it's actually completely wrong. Because that's just what he does on stream. If you've ever watched him in tournament, if you've ever like actually studied him, how he plays in tournament, this guy is the most Giga safe, Giga bitch out, like Giga early game play for HP, like play for mixed streak, play for like as much of an early game advantage player as you will ever see. Like I don't think I've ever seen this guy sack in tourney.
He doesn't play. I misspoke. He doesn't play the mid game. So you're right. He's always in HP preservation. He's Giga top 4 oriented in tournaments. All that's true. You'll never catch that man dead rolling on 6.
Unless he has to.
When you say has to, it's more like if he's playing 2-cost reroll. But it's very, very rare to see him play the mid game.
Okay. T-Lides, it's kind of like the opposite narrative for him. It's that he kind of has to climb back to prove himself after a dip in set 10. Also, I think T-Lides has been very critical of like the current format. He was on my coach stream last week and saying like, thank God he made it via snapshots because he would not be able to compete in trials. I mean, he's a working man. I think if we extend the ballots, there's a world where T-Lides actually makes it if we ask more North American top players. And I think that's a little bit of the flaw of our ballot system, just being very open and transparent about it. I personally think that he is probably in that 14 to 16 range. And so I like that he got so many votes. We color-coded based on the number of voters that put it for him. Like a lot of people put Soji like 14, 15, but he needs more than just like 1 or 2 points, right, from a bunch of people.
And Rain, can you weigh in on why Rain ranked T-Luz so high? Rain had T-Luz 8th on the ballot.
I just wasn't really aware of a reason to like doubt him. I generally think of him as like a pretty consistent player. And like between his study group, like at least between him and Replay, I would definitely rank him way higher. I will admit it's not like, okay, so like all full transparency here as well. It's not like every single ranking was like carefully studied over a microscope. But I mean, I did try to put my best foot forward in like, you know, putting the usage where I thought were correct. But I think like Flex both, you know, actually like spends time studying the game, and I mean, I respect him as a player. So
okay. I mean, I think he has very much earned a lot of people's respect. Is whether or not he can actually perform up to those expectations that he set from set 9 with such a great set. Socks back getting votes. Asa in chat saying, who's voting for Socks? His ladder form looks like he's top 10. He's climbing. He's also starting to innovate a little bit within the 4 cost space. That's getting people's attention. Bryce, you're shaking your head. What's going on here?
We've seen this before.
I had to guess. You can't trust Asa. You can't trust Asa.
No. Asa's completely right. Listen, I won't rank Socks again. He would have to do a lot. He would have to do a lot to get me to rank him again. His form is just not consistent. Even when he looks good in tournaments, I was such an OG Sox fan. Dan knows I was his biggest fanboy. Like I loved watching Sox. I loved the innovation he brought to the game and positioning, and it was so fun to watch this man play. But he's just not. He's not himself. He's a kid similar to Gooms. He's a casual competitive player. If things are going his way, I could see him doing well. It's not like he's incapable of doing long term. But I'll never rank him in my top 15 again. I don't think.
He's closer to you, Bryce, than he is Goobums. He has 2 kids. They full on raising. He has a full-time job. Like he's just a family man. If anything, him making a run in the top 15 is actually a great underdog story, despite the fact of his historical pedigree.
Yeah, his raw capability is still there. He isn't that's all. If he ever is, I won't rank him again as long as his life circumstances remain the same.
Yeah.
If he ever can go back to like giga sweating TFT all the time like he did, then yeah, of course I'll put him in my top 15 again. But I think anyone who just sees like high ladder results from Sox gets baited. We've seen him have high ladder results and flame out in tourneys again and again and again.
It's exciting to see him come back though and compete. Yes. And there's actually a group. That group is significant now. I want to shout out another former first in ballots finisher. Bertosaurus actually has been competing a little bit on the side, trying to juggle it. He didn't make it. He actually got reasonably far, but got cut. But it's cool to see him kind of throw his name into the ring. Philip, Casper, and JD. I labeled this as like the true dark horses. Like people don't talk about them, but they are capable of making these final lobby runs. I think in particular, JD has been hitting a big stride. Towards the end of set 10, he actually made a big charge to top 10 ladder where he didn't really get removed, and has since actually kind of been on an upswing. So just want to be mindful of him, and a couple people also are catching note. At this point, it feels like Casper's in the eternally underrated route. He actually crushed this weekend, regularly top 8 in points or higher. Like he was like 4th and then 3rd in points. I mean, and it's also a good meta for him. People know Casper as like a reroll tech peddler, but that was like 2 years ago. He's actually a fantastic 4 cost player now these days. So do not sleep on these players.
Philip got 4 points from Broseph. I'm curious why. Can you weigh in on Philip?
Yeah, so I quite highly valued people who played very consistently throughout the weekend, especially like day 2, day 3. So like people, I don't know where Weijin ends up going on the list, but like I ranked Weijin quite highly. And Philip and Casper for the same reason, for their like consistent performances over this week. I know it's a little bit of a softer field, but I felt like from both watching some of their games, watching them both in my game and other games, I thought Philip was very good at all like the main lines this patch. He was putting out strong early game after strong early game, and I think he'll do pretty well next week continuing that playstyle. And also I think that the tournament meta actually ends up being a meaningful amount different than the current like top ladder meta. I don't know if that's like cope or something. But I think it's to an extent meaningfully different because of how much people narrow in on like the same 2 or 3 comps. And I think that being able to navigate those spots particularly well, I think Philip is good at navigating like particularly Ash, but also the other ones. And I think Casper is very good on the Kane line. Like I would look at a spot on like 3-5. I'm like, there's no way he has a good Kane spot here. And then he pulls out like 6 streak on 5-1 with like Kane 2 and everything hit, and then just going 9.
Okay, 2 things. The first is that Bert, kind of like Boss's skills, dropped from day 2, probably because of obligations. The second thing, Philip's scrims against LATAM, there's been some quote secret scrims going on. And Philip's scrim scores are, I'm just reading directly off my screen. Eight,
Uh-oh.
8, 8, 8, 7, 8. And then Philip says, "Isn't that actually egregious?"
I got insider word that he was locked in, but I guess I was wrong. I was lied to.
I mean, look, you submitted this a couple days ago, and then he started scrimming. It's not your fault, man. He let you down, not the other way around.
Oh man, that's pretty good.
When he scores are literally 8-8-7-8. What is this?
Last thing, Broseph, you got a couple votes. I kind of want to hear
One
commentary
was
on
me
that.
and one was Rain. I don't know who the third one was.
One was you, one was Rain. Who was the third person?
Yeah, I don't know.
It was Robin.
Robin believers, let's go.
Oh, okay.
Holy.
That's cool.
Robin also rated Socks 8th. So we're taking Robin's ballot with like a fucking pound of salt, man.
Robin tends to be our ladder ranker,
He's
which
a
I think is
ladder
valuable.
ranker.
He actually says, my experience is whoever's dominating solo queue is in some of the best form. He tends to just take a lot of ladder and almost copy paste it. And then like after like 10, he puts in like 5 picks that he's been seeing.
Okay, but Broseph is like hard stuck 900
Hard
LP
stuck
in 400 games.
Okay, look.
Like
Bryce, weave the narrative. Weave the narrative with me, man.
Okay. Ladder ranking. This guy's a ladder.
Oh, look, he remembers the start of the set. He sees me open on ladder. Like it's probably good. It's probably from the games I played with him.
We didn't even talk about that, but like one of the first times you and I talked about TFT was the start of the set because you released an in-depth positioning guide on all the units, which I thought was so valuable. I like really enjoyed it. It was for someone like me that hadn't had a chance to play PvE. It was like, this is exactly what I need. Like I just want to know all the basics, like short circuit. My default positioning was so good.
Okay. Any of these red players, just keep them in mind. Players are putting confidence in them for a reason. Don't be surprised if they end up making a deep run because a couple of players are keeping an eye for them. I think the biggest is like Darthnub got 1 point. I mean, come on. There's only been like 2 sets. Set 9 was when he was like crushing people.
That's Iniko.
That's Iniko? Oh.
That's Iniko. The only reason he gets that vote is so that if Darth does well, Iniko can say, I
did it. Yeah, I was the first to believe in him.
I bought stock. No one else bought stock.
Stock really high on Dish Soap. He overtakes Setsuko for it was a couple of tournaments. It was early set 10 last when Dish Soap was over Setsuko, but only by a couple points. I think it's still like a 1-2, and if we pulled a few more people, it could easily flip. Actually, literally, if only one of us flipped, it'd be a complete tie. But they still are 1-2. A couple of other storylines that I want to touch here. Hokigam has a new high. He got I wrote 4th, but top 5. This is the highest Pokegam has ever been. Toronto Tokyo new high, number 6. I kind of want to start the conversation there. Who, if you were to take one right now and just be like, this is the horse that I'm betting on, Pokegam or Toronto Tokyo, both stock massive in terms of ladder results and a lot of players' opinions. Who you're taking, one or the other? Start off with Payne.
Man, if I had to take one, I guess it'd be Toronto Tokyo.
Oh wow.
I don't know. Okay, so like this is kind of weird because I actually really like Pocky. I just haven't actually gotten the chance to watch that many of his games ever. Which maybe I should do at some points. But I don't know. I feel like he's always like strongest like when he's not necessarily on 4 cost lines, when he gets like a weird spot that he himself like mathed out in like either like in the data or like found some like weird reroll spot. I think like those are when his like strengths shine the most. So I don't know. I guess if like it came down to it, I would tend to bet against him in the 4 cost meta.
Okay. I do want to point out, by the way, yes, earlier today for about 3 hours, we did use accidentally the Dota 2 Toronto Tokyo instead of the actual Toronto Tokyo. I don't know how we even end up succumbing to this meme where we use the wrong Toronto Tokyo picture, but yeah, it's fixed now. Sorry.
Fix? I think I almost wish I hadn't noticed and changed it. Maybe we just leave it.
It's just a giant. I mean, he did it to himself, right? He did it to himself. Like, why? You could rebrand, you could change names, but yeah, this is what he is. Bryce, you're a big Pocky fan. Are you taking Pocky here?
Oh, I'm fucking taking Pocky. I think that if Pocky is in form, which is he's among the least consistent members of this top 15 in terms of his form, but I think that when he's in form, he has a pretty good argument for tier 1. I think that his results and his play back that up. And my understanding is that he is in form. So
Okay.
I'm really excited to see. I put him more towards the middle. I didn't put him quite as high as 5th, but if I had to pick between those two, but I think Toronto's really good too.
Okay. And then Broseph, anything to add on top of that?
Yeah, I had them ranked adjacent. I think I had Toronto Tokyo 1 higher just because I think betting on like averages, I think he would do a little bit better on average just on like I think he plays really solid from games I've seen him play on ladder. So yeah, I think he would average a little bit better than Pocky, but I think Pocky's like if he's got the tech and he understands something that like is really important, like he did at Vegas about like edgelord positioning and itemization, I think he's got a really good shot to win.
You rated him 4th.
Who?
By the way, Pocky, you have him. You have him above Malala.
I put Malala 5th, man. You're making it sound like I underrated Malala.
Wait, isn't 5th kind of does? I feel like the floor on Malala right now should be 4th. I think that there's like a pretty clearly established tier 1 in an A, and I think you could throw a dartboard at it. So, but like that, so that says a lot. Like, why did you rate him so high?
It's not because I don't believe in Malala's, because I really, really like Pocky's read. And it's funny because I haven't actually talked to him directly. I've only heard reads through other people. But it's funny because, okay, first of all, Pocky, I'm just going to say it. You might need to tighten up because I'm getting multiple sources of your read through other people and not through you. So you got a rat in your circle. All I'm saying is there's an imposter among you. I don't know how it keeps happening, but I really like. I know a lot about your read, but I also like your read. I think he's very well equipped for this weekend. That's the main reason why. And the thing about Malala was he was on my co-stream saying that he didn't feel kind of confident in himself, but he thinks that he can get in 4. So I kept him high because I think he can do it. But in terms of the current, like when I submitted this ranking on Monday, right, I was like, Malala's not that confident. I really like Pocky's read. So I had to give him that slight edge. I will say one thing about Toronto Tokyo is that I think he's kind of in a spot where Weijin was in set 8, where he looks really good, and sometimes he takes a very vulnerable 8th out of nowhere. And I think it could be that he's towing the risk of the line of risk versus reward. It could be that because he's also a greedy player. When it was like the fortune, he was some of the biggest open forwarder during the fortune patch. Just like straight up not playing a single unit, not even trying, or like outside of the fortune units. So maybe there's like that, but I do think if there's one thing that I've noticed about Toronto Tokyo, needs to avoid some of those deadly 8s that just sabotage his tournaments and he has to play for a win out instead of giving a comfortable spot. So I could see him go as high as final lobby. I could see him be in that spot where he has to play for a tiebreaker on day 1. So we'll see.
I think there's a really interesting storyline at the top here that we like sort of glossed over because Setsuko and Dish Soap. Setsuko had actually kind of reestablished a hammer lock on rank 1, and after Dish Soap's performance at the end of last set and his start to this set, you talked about him nearly getting it out. This is about as close as we've gotten on that race for first in a little while. And then Weijin, you see 12.9, but that doesn't tell the whole story. Weijin actually was put exactly 3rd on almost every ballot. The only ballot that did not rank him 3rd was Prest Event, which put him 4th. So everyone consistently puts him there.
Literally 3rd.
And then Malala, despite coming off the God set, was, he's comfortably in 4th here in terms of points. It's a very clear tier system, like this is the tier 1, but he did fall below 4th on a number of ballots, including Dan. So it's interesting where everyone's calling out I'm not like trying to put you on blast. I'm saying,
why are you going to say it like that?
Just telling a story, man.
I'm telling a story. It's interesting.
Okay.
You like this kind of shit. Anyway, I just think it's very interesting how this shook out, that like everyone basically universally agrees that Dish Soap and Weijin or Dish Soap and Setsuko are very clearly tier 1A. Everyone agrees that Weijin is tier 1B, and everyone agrees that Malala is tier 1C, it seems like. But that's surprising to me. I thought we would have a little bit more mixing and matching. I thought some people would rate Weijin in the top 2, for example. No one did.
You just have to, anybody that's watched Dish Soap and Setsuko this set, they just, every first month, they just remind you why everyone is so worried about them. Yeah, like Setsuko almost hit 2K LP. Like, it was really hard for me to vote against Setsuko, except that right before I voted, he ran down like 400 LP. And again, I think it's for content. I think Setsuko gets really bored if he has 1/8, he wants to like restart, almost like start from 1500 and try to get to 2K again. But I just gave the slight edge to Dish Soap. Also, I've been talking more to Dish Soap because of TFT Academy, so I get more insight to him. I like his read going into it. So it's really cool. I wish I could get half points sometimes at this kind of level. It feels so granular that way.
Okay, but why do you hate Malala?
It's because we're too bromantic at this point. Me and Malala have been kind of glazing each other up too much. In order to keep the drama spicy, there needs to be a wrench, and like that could potentially spot. And then we reunite in like set 13. So right now I'm on my Malala hate arc. Not really. Couple of other names you want to shout out here in the top 15 here. We can't spend too much time. The first is that Asa is back on the rankings, which is really cool. Milk is back on the rankings, which is really, really exciting. Replay is on the rankings. He was on our podcast or on our stream talking about how he might not actually compete in set 11, and here we are, Bryce. I can't read this guy.
The fake retirement.
The fake retirement.
A tale as old as TFT.
The fake retirement. So yeah, no one doesn't simply quit TFT. They just do. They don't say they are. They don't think about it. They just do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, replay. He's back. I said it last time on the podcast that you have to come back. He's back. We'll see. Great to see Asa and Milk though, and Greya's first time ranking. For people who don't know about Greya. Rainplosion or Painplosion. We need to get the cam back on. Greya is formerly known as Melton Heart, and it's a person that Polygon gasses up a lot. You talking about W Glaze? I mean, this guy reaches a tier above Bryce of how much Polygon glazes Greya. His ladder stats are bananas. They're actually even more efficient than Sasuke and Dish Soaps. Around like a 75-25 split in terms of top 4 win percentage. It's ridiculous. So the hype is there. First time making the rankings.
Yeah, and actually Beppo shared with me a video of you and Doa on the Teamfight talk show from like 2.5 years ago when you had Pocky on doing his tier list, and he put Gray on the top 10 way back when.
Yeah, that's right.
That's never really borne out, but it's going to be interesting to see if he's taking TFT more seriously and how it all goes, because it seems like very high skill single as a player, but someone that I've never watched him play. It seems like most people have never watched him play.
Yeah. Okay, and then there's a copy pasta of I feel obligated to read. For people who don't know who Gray is on the North American TFT ladder, he has previously gone by Melton Heart. He doesn't necessarily enjoy TFT. Oh, weird. Well, what a weird way to spend your time then. As a result, doesn't care to compete, but at his peak, I'd say he's a better player than Setsuko and Disso. This is mostly just a glaze post from my friend, but I find it impressive how easily he can climb at times when he actually puts in effort. Probably set 5 was the last time he did. I got to where I am as a player mostly by discussing with him, so yeah, he's my GOAT.
And that's Pocky, by the way.
That's Pocky posting it. Yeah, interesting. Let's talk about some of the other people as well while we have limited time here. Rainplosion at 13. Does that feel right? Broseph, Rainplosion at 13. Higher, lower, or right?
Yeah, that feels that feels pretty right. I would probably put her I put her a bit higher myself. But when she's in form, it's like you're just watching her play and then you look at her spot and I'm like, I don't really see how she bought 3, bought 4s in this spot. Like the game's pretty solid. Rain is like the queen of narrating how low roll her games possibly could have been. She's like, there are these 6 things that I all low rolled. I only have 1 Ash. It's like reverse triple decontested. I don't hit anything else. I can't hit 1 Ginsu. I can't hit 1 LW. And she's like, what? I was like, what do you place? I placed 5th. I was like, oh, that's not even that bad. Like, it's pretty good.
That's fun. Does this also accurately reflect where you feel Rainplosion should be paid?
I guess you're asking me. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I thought I would be playing. Okay, so I believe in my ability to get informed, but then I didn't really play much yesterday, and
you believe in Rain's ability.
Yeah.
Recently banned off.
To get informed, and to be fair, I think
great.
They are very much in form, but some shit happened yesterday, and then I don't know, I spent the whole day just kind of out of it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening to Rainplosion. We wish them the best of luck wherever they are. Okay, so out of the other people, we'll do a quick hit. Preston, Spencer, Robin, and Kurum, who is the most likely in your book to have that run that they need, the deep run? These are all established names in North America by now. They've made top 10 multiple times. They've either won tournaments or proven themselves. Who's the biggest threat? Start off with Bryce out of these 4 remaining names.
I'm only seriously considering Spencer and P-God. I think I take Spencer, but it's a really close call. I had a lot of trouble figuring out where I was going to relatively rank them. I think actually when I did my ballot, I put P-God ahead of Spencer.
Yeah.
But I think it's a toss-up. I think both of them, this patch could suit their play styles well. Spencer, I'm giving Spencer the edge because I think as the patch is developing, Lost Streak is becoming a more prominent style, and I think that Spencer's among the best Lost Streak players that we have on the server.
Nicely said. Broseph, out of these 4 names, who are you taking the biggest threat?
I think I would take Spencer too for like similar reasons. I think I've seen him play like Lost Streaks in ways that I would not know how to emulate. Like he just gets everything on 8 and then goes 9 and then goes 10. So yeah, I would take him too for similar reasons.
Okay, and Bane?
I think I would take President, I think.
Okay.
He just, I don't know, he's always just super, super consistent.
Except in tournament. That's the big question mark. He has yet to advance significantly far in tournament outside of regional. It seems like he kind of has a little bit of a Soju thing. He's showing up at regionals, but these other cups, which he, by the way, does care about. He wants to win these cups. He puts the effort in. But it's not.
Wait, okay. I just took a look at his LP graph. This guy's running it down further. I take it back. I believe in President until I took a look at his LP graph.
Oh no, he's limited. He's limited.
5.0 average masterclass.
Okay, all right.
He can't leave Soju hanging.
That's right.
That makes sense.
Yeah. He needs to make it interesting for himself. Setsuko chases 2K. Preston chases Soju. That's kind of his benchmark. Can't be outdone. So I'm gonna go against the grain here. And I'm gonna go on a little bit of a hard pick this time and pick Robin. Because I've been on an arc where I've been doubting Robin for like about a set and a half now. And what I've come to realize is that he usually gets into form all the time. He is consistent, and he actually had a pretty decent set 10 as well. And I think that's actually good because I think the other 3 players are much more capable of flaming out than Robin. Robin is likely to make day 2, and I think he has a pretty good shot at making a day 3 appearance as well. And also, I've realized that with Robin, there's a bottom to his LP graph. A lot of these other players, there is not. These guys can keep going. And I think Robin, after watching a couple of his games, I think he's found close to the bottom of where he is. And usually he bounces back. The bottom is in. I'm buying low, and I'm going to sell high, baby. I'm all in on Bobby.
I mostly agree with your take, though. I think that I pair Robin and Kurum with each other and Spencer and P-God with each other. Your question was who's the most likely to make a deep run.
Yeah.
I think that Kurum and Robin have both very high floors as players. Kurum's flamed out once, like that I can remember. He like never flames out of cups.
Kurum's actually, interestingly enough, become a very volatile player because he's winning tournaments or he's flaming out.
In cups?
Yeah.
The last set, I think.
Yeah,
I'm saying that's what I'm saying. I'm saying in recent times. Yeah, historically, you're right. I'm just talking about the past year. He's been very volatile. Either he's going so far, winning the whole thing, or he's flaming out, and it's actually really unlike him. Okay, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Let's go into the agrees. Just in the sake of time, we're going to only do a couple of them. First agree. The hate for encounters are overblown. Outside of extreme examples, encounters make room for skill expression. Let's start off with Broseph.
Oh, so I personally like encounters because I think I've reasonably adapted, or maybe not, I don't know, maybe I've adapted it, how I play around it, though I think, I totally agree that there are a ton of spots where you just look at the encounter and there's I can do nothing. Like on the reroll patch, or there was a patch where I was fast 9ing and everyone was playing reroll, and then you just hit the Alun or Ari one that gives 2 costs, 3 costs, 4 costs, bonuses. There's nothing I can do with any of these, and now I'm going to lose the whole game mid-game, or late game as well. So there's just nothing you can do. I think they're a reasonably fun and novel addition to the game, and I'll stand my ground. I think they're reasonably fun, and I think there's some things you can do to adapt to it that make them a little bit less sour to play with.
Okay, so is that agree or disagree?
How was it phrased? I think I agree. Yeah.
Okay, we haven't agreed. He thinks he agrees. Painplosion.
I'm gonna have to hesitantly go with like a barely agree, but I say this like very really when I say barely agree. Like as in it is slightly overblown, but that's only slightly true because of the current patch where like forecasts are playable. Where like I think one of the biggest problems with encounters is that at the start of the game you don't know how many resources you're actually getting throughout the game. It actually, like, the amount of resources you get throughout the game really changes which comps you can play, because there's certain comps that cap out like way higher, way lower. For example, Senna reroll, which like, you know, isn't really in the meta, but that's a comp where like if you get like 4 encounters that give you bonus gold / XP / items, you actually can't do anything with it. You just get sent straight 8th, you know. But and it's not like you can plan around that from 2-1, and there's not really much you can do after you've got the resources. I think that's slightly less true on the current patch, because almost every comp in the meta has like some sort of duo carry, or can make some sort of duo carry. Like traditionally in the heavenly comp, you only generally run like 2 carries. It's Kayn and Lee Sin. But you can alter your comp to fit in more carries, like Sylas, like you know, I know most of the legendaries can somewhat fit onto the board. So like hesitantly, I will say I agree that it is overblown, but like not by much.
Okay, I begrudgingly agree. Bryce.
I'm gonna agree with the statement, though I do think there's a little bit of nuance to it. I think that I'm gonna disagree with the statement. I don't think the hate for encounters is overblown, mostly because of what Rain said. Someone in chat mentioned I'd be very interested in seeing a version of encounters where we actually know, like, what you can click on the thing and you know, like, on this is what you're going to be offered, and then you can make decisions around it. I don't mind some amount of variance, and the game's changed quite dramatically. The lines you should play, how you should approach a game and a patch should change based on the encounters. I'm fine with that, but I think there's way too high of a percentage of time where encounters throw a curveball that's kind of an unfair curveball, where it's like there's not really a material way for you to play around it, and it just dramatically affects placements in both directions. There's a bunch of encounters that I would like to see die. They took 4 of them off the board in the planned patch, and that's good, but there's like so many more than that, man. Like way more than that. Like every time I get this radiant item carousel, I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Like you're giving the people who are early pick like a prismatic level augment, and the people at the end are getting like the leftover garbage radiant items that they basically can't use. Like that is it's fucking atrocious. Like I don't know who thinks that's a good idea, but it should definitely not be in a game of TFT. And there's a bunch of stuff like that. And then, to be honest with you, a bunch of the other ones are, and these, I'm always like, when people were bitching about set, I was like, why are you bitching about set for? I want my encounter to do nothing. I'm down for a 30-second key break. Like, this is a fucking good thing. Like, why are we reducing the chances of this? Like, I'm trying to reduce the chances that an encounter is going to grief my game. I'm fine with low impact, and a bunch of the encounters are actually like quite low impact, I think. So that being said, I do think there is some room for skill expression on some of the encounters. Right? Like, I think that there's some good moments where, like, I had a moment today in a game where I was lose streaking. I had a decent amount of gold. The encounter comes up where you get Pandora's Bench, and I leveled to 7 on 3/3 and roll. I was playing Ashe. I leveled to 7 on 3/3 and rolled until I hit enough 4 costs to like make my board better, and then to roll 3. And I got a 5 cost in there and rolled that. And I think on my 4th turn I got Lysandra. I think there's moments like that encounters create room for, that are good and healthy for TFT. But I think we need to have way fewer encounters. I think we need to get rid of the shit stuff, like the stuff that's just totally game warping. And I think we should know what they are coming in. And if you do all those things, I'm down. I actually think this could be a good set mechanic.
Oh, okay. Wow. I think that's a new mistake. Man, Pandora's Bench is I kind of miss that augment sometimes, even though it's really broken, really broken. But good stuff. I think for me, I agree with the first sentence a lot. I actually think people hate encounters a lot because they remember the bad times, and they're kind of glossing over the times when it was a really good and a skill expressive moment, or like a cool, interesting moment. Like I personally, like my favorite encounter moment that was when Lilia rearranged augments, and I get augments at 2-1, 2-2, and 2-3. And that's a game I've never played before, and I could probably queue up and never play. And it was also a triple prismatic. It was crazy. The craziest game of TFT I've ever played. Prismatic, carousel. It was unbelievable. And that ended up creating a memorable moment. And I think people are mistaking that and just saying like, well, that's not competitive. Like, who cares? These games are fun. They're memorable. I didn't have these moments in set 10. In set 10, the most exciting thing that happened was I got a 2 damage emblem off Carousel. Pog. Wow, so cool. or maybe Wandering Trainer into 10 KDA. Woohoo! Like, that was like the games that stand out in my mind, as well as Heartsteel. In set 11, I think encounters, you don't really know how much fun you're really having until it's gone, in my opinion. I think a lot of people are having great games, great moments, memorable times in TFT. And they're using the extreme examples to latch onto, because ultimately, if there's anything we love more than playing TFT, it's complaining about it. That being said, I can't really agree with the second statement. I do think that there's too much extremity. There's too much extremity. I'm reminded of Hearthstone. Hearthstone, I did a recent sponsorship with Hearthstone, and I played some Hearthstone on the New Year rotation. And it just reminded me about how different the game is, because it's just constantly throwing randomness at you and asking you to figure it out. The skill expression in Hearthstone is, here's 100 different random encounters happening every game, the equivalent of encounters. Figure it out, and the best players can do that. And there is skill to it, but it's just utter nonsense a lot of times. And I think that in TFT, this set, if you take it competitively, there's just a bunch of bullshit nonsense happening constantly. And the true test of skill is whether or not you can keep your mental in check. Because it just feels like if you play hundreds and hundreds of games, you're just met with nonstop ridiculous moments. So that's where they lose me. So I have to disagree, but only because of that. I do think encounters are good. I think I have a lot of love for it. I do think that they need to tidy it up a bit. Chad, by the way, this is actually split across the middle. Yeah, 55-45. I think this is a great agree. And I think we can just kind of end on that one because we're kind of limited on time. A little sneak peek of the upcoming agree that we would have done, which is the LATAM BR performance stats are fake. NA will get humbled this weekend. Is that an agree or disagree? Let's go ahead and just segue directly into the fantasy draft and let that be decided. I don't actually have the window.
That graphic is so cool.
Wait a second. How come my window's not? Man, I actually planned this whole thing out and it didn't actually work.
The transition is so cool.
Oh, man.
It's loading in.
Yeah. Okay. I think I have the screen now. What the heck? It was cool. I had this all cool transition panned out. Okay.
Well, we saw the transition screen.
Give me a second, guys. Give me a second.
You're good. I'll set up really the rules. Cool. Not that you two need it. My understanding is that the lab does quite a bit of fantasy drafting on their own. So welcome to the big leagues, Broseph, and welcome. Rain, you've done a draft before, haven't you?
I don't think I've ever done a draft.
Has Rain done a draft? Okay, so that's exciting. Welcome to the big leagues. Time to put up or shut up. It's going to be slightly different because with extra players in the field, we're going to do slightly bigger teams. So it's going to be 6 players, not 5. LATAM and BR players are going to be on the table. So even though we did not rank them, they're going to be eligible for the draft. So keep track of those names as well. 6 players, same budget, right, Dan? You didn't adjust budget?
No, it's 150 this time. 150. Giving a little bit more, so a little bit of point inflation.
We're actually completely recalibrating here on the fly. Dan knew that going in. None of us did.
There's also a special bonus afterwards, but I'll tell you later.
Bonus afterwards? My God, this Dan guy, keeping us on our toes.
We wanted to level it up. We're never staying the same. Okay, so I'm gonna roll a random die. Bryce, you are going to bid first.
I will put up Hockey Gum.
$10. $10? I'm just gonna speed this up. I'll just say I'll say 18.
Wait, Broseph already bought 20.
I
said 20? Oh, okay, my bad.
This guy, he's stuck.
All right, 20 for Pocky Gum. By the way, Pocky Gum's username is Mogu Yummy. I don't know why he changed it up, but yeah.
I mean, I'll go straight to 28.
28.
49.
30.
Oh,
did I get it first? Oh, yeah.
You got it first. Yeah. 31.
Look, let's just stop with disrespecting him. If you actually think he's rank 5 and somebody rated him higher,
okay, I'll say 35 to respect that then.
I like it.
But it didn't cut out, but yeah.
Oh no, you cut out. We actually didn't hear. Are you back? Payne, are you back?
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
Okay,
you're back.
Okay, Payne, we're gonna assume.
I said 35. Sure. 36.
No, we'll-
36.
okay.
36.
No,
Okay.
36.
36 for Vodka. I think I'm out. Rice.
37.
37 for Pocky Gom. Going once. Going twice. And sold to Bryce. Pocky Gom. Bryce putting big stock in. I'm a big Pocky Gom lover, but that's I feel like 37 is putting in territory where I'm just not comfortable with personally.
I mean, look, I just wanted Pocky on my team.
Yeah,
It's that
fair
simple.
enough. Oh, by the way, just want to clarify. LATAM and Brazil are eligible to be drafted, which I feel like we can insert them in the conversation here.
Yeah.
Okay, Rain, you're up next.
Fuck it. We'll just rip VCLF for. I'll start with 10.
Number 1 Brazil on the table. VCLF. Does anybody want to bid? Wow, Rain's going off meta already. Bidding on a Brazilian player. I'll go 11 for VCLF. That feels reasonable. VCLF, $11. Going once?
I'll go 12.
Okay. Bryce got it in. Rain, you want to go 13?
Sure, I'll go 13.
13. $14 for VCLF, rank 1 Brazil. How far will the Brazilian king go here?
It's so hard to do interregional.
It's really hard. It's really hard. It's a
I was
bet.
actually in
It's a big
favor
bet.
of not doing it for this draft, like giving us a little bit of time to see it. But Dan was like, "Fuck it, we're doing it."
Nah, we're doing it live. $14 going once.
I bid 15.
Oh, 15. Okay, I'm out. 15. Rain.
I'll go 16.
16.
Like Brazil can't be that bad.
Okay,
That
Bryce.
we're rating them. We're 15.
16 on VCLF going once.
16.
Okay, Rainplosion, back over to you. 16 on VCLF. Going once. Going twice. Sold to
17,
Bryce.
17. Ooh.
Oh, you want a 17? Okay, she has internet problems, so just want to give that.
Sure.
I'll do 18.
18. Wow. Okay, we bid up a lot. All right. Here we go. 18 on VCLF. Rainplosion.
I'll go 20.
20 on VCLF. We're now cracked the 20s.
21.
21
That's
from
not-
Bryce.
All right.
Okay.
I need to secure a roster so that I can dip for my call, so I can get to my 6 points.
Oh, that's right.
Genius mode.
Okay. Bryce securing VCLF. Rank 1 Brazil. Has made it to multiple world championships before. I mean, we'll see how he fares. Broseph, you're up next.
Casper for 1.
Casper for 1. Dude, I'm not letting you get him for $1. $10 on Casper.
11.
12.
15.
16.
I didn't hear was.
I think
18.
I think Payne said 18.
19.
Okay. 19 on Casper. Going once, going twice. Sold to Broseph. All right, Casper Woo. I'm up next. I'm gonna go with. Let's just get stuff out of the way here. Dish Soap. I'm gonna start him off at.
But how many
30.
players do they have to pick? 6 months. They have to pick 24 players.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry, what'd you
I'm
open
gonna
with?
go. I'm gonna start off with Dish Soap at 30.
40.
40. Oh,
Bryce got the 40 in. 41.
45.
46. 46 on
47.
Dish Soap.
47.
48. 48 on Dish Soap. Going once.
49.
Ooh. Rain, you want to do it? 50 on dish soap. I'm going 50 on dish soap.
Man, I was trying to think about how much money we need to spend.
50 on dish soap, going once. Going twice.
51.
I'll go 52.
52. 53. 53 on dish soap.
54.
55. 55 on dish soap.
56.
They should send in the chat saying hashtag Team Setsuko.
Yeah, okay, 56 I'm out. 56 I'm out. Rain?
I think I'll let you have the show for 56.
56 going to Bryce for dish soap. Dish soap,
How much money do I have left?
you have $36. You have $36. Bryce, if you do have to leave in the middle of this draft,
No. We got 20 minutes. I'm fine. I got money. I just have to make sure that I
dude,
start
Bryce
picking up
is
some
broke.
names.
You can't bid for anything.
I have to start. Clearly I have to start going for some like BR names. So I'm gonna start. Excuse me, I'll be on Lol Chess for a second.
Bryce, you're not forbidding. You're forbidding though. You can toss out a name that you know you're not going.
Okay, all right. Let's see. Who do I see up here? What is that? Is that Fritz? I will bid on Fritz for $5.
$6 on Fritz.
I'll go for 10.
11 on Fritz.
12.
13 on Fritz. Fritz is top seed from LATAM and also has made it to the World Championships. Most notably, I think, set 7. He made a deep run. I think he made it to the final lobby.
What's the bid at? Is it 13?
13, yes.
I'll take him for 14.
15. 15 on Fritz. Going once. Going twice. Sold to
16.
me. Oh. I think we got to move on. It is sold to me.
I suck in 16. I did.
You said 16? Okay,
you gave
17,
Rain a bid,
17.
Clearly after time, and then when it's a player that you want, it's like we have to move on.
Bro, I mean, that's okay. I mean, I was bidding. No, technically, it was with. I was bidding with Painplosion, and so I extended it. But all right, fine. 16, 17. Going once. Going twice.
18.
19 on Fritz.
Okay, I'm out.
Okay. 1, 2. All right, Fritz to Frodan for 19.
Good pick.
I think people don't know much about Fritz, understandably so. I actually watched all of his scrims yesterday. So yeah, he was the one who's streaming the secret scrims, which is why it's not so secret. Okay, Rain, you're up next.
We'll just rip the Setsuko for 48.
49.
50 on Setsuko.
Someone just jump this up. I can't, but someone jump it up.
51.
55.
There you go.
55 for Setsuko.
56.
57. 57 for Setsuko. Going once? Going twice? Okay, I get Setsuko for 57.
Man.
All right, Setsuko and Fritz. Yeah, then you guys can extrapolate what that means for dish soap and Setsuko's relative value, 57 versus 56. Okay, Broseph.
I'll put up Weijin for just start him off at 50.
Thank you for short circuit.
55.
That's the spirit.
56.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say he's gonna go up more. He's for sure going up more.
57.
Really?
57.
They should win for 56.
I don't know if he is going more. I'm just,
50,
talking out loud.
57 for Wajan Iverson. I'm breaking the bank, baby.
He's 3, fucker. He's
57, Wajan Iverson going once.
yeah, 58.
Payne's team is nuts. Payne, are you going to get in this or no?
Dude, all I'm saying is that not a single one of my players is going to bot 4 at this rate.
Okay. 59.
I'm not bidding 60.
Okay. 59 is mine. Going once? Going twice? I'm broke. I got 59 on Wage and Iverson. But I mean, my first 3 picks are pretty amazing. All right.
I love it.
I'm up next for bidding. I'm going to go ahead and bid. I'm going to bid on Malala for 13. That's the max I can bid.
33.
45.
Okay.
48.
I thought so.
Well, yeah,
49.
she has to.
49.
I'll rip the 50 now. 50.
Nice.
I was at 50. You can have him for 49.
Well, it's too late. You already bid the 50.
All bid.
He bid the 50.
You bid the 50, so it's...
Technically, it's disadvantage because if he's worthy, you're going to bid 50, but won't bid 51. It's valuable to him to claim the number.
Okay,
So you're passing, Rain?
I'm passing.
Payne, sorry.
Okay. $50 for Malala going to Broseph.
That's a great value.
Yeah, it depends on where you really think everyone else is currently on the value chart. Okay, Bryce, you're up next.
Okay, let me go back to my my wall chest situation here. Give me 1 second. Okay. I bid $1 for Relic.
Oh, okay. That's okay. For people who don't know, Relic is the first player ever to make it to both League of Legends and TFT Worlds. He recently retired as a League of Legends professional player, and has only been competing for 1.5 sets. And that one set he competed, he made Worlds.
World Championship pedigree. Surely he can dominate some cups.
Okay, $1 for Relic. I mean, that's a really interesting pick.
I have to do this, right?
I think $1 is disrespectful. I'm going to go $2. $2.
Okay.
Holy.
$2 on Relic.
Wait, hello? Any linkers with their wall chest? I can't find them.
No, bro, you don't have time. You don't have time.
Oh,
$2
$3 on Relic.
$3. Bro, the thing is, I don't have that much money, man. You can't. I need someone else to bid up this guy. I don't have that much money. I'm broke.
Bro, Rain needs all the slots she can get, I'm pretty sure.
Rain has a squad, or Payne has a squad identified.
$4 for Relic. $4 for Relic.
If anything, I can bid it up.
Oh, I'll take 5 for Relic.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay.
This is gonna be awesome because Payne's gonna wind up with Relic on the team for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I've been tuning these to see
$6 for Relic. $6 for Relic.
That was a bid of 6, Dan?
Yeah, a bid of 6.
Okay.
I mean, at this point, my relative bidding is whether or not you guys want it or not.
I'll do 7.
Okay, I'm out. Payne. $7 for Relic.
Yeah. You can have it.
Okay, $7 to Bryce. $7 to Bryce.
Boom.
All right. Rainplosion, you're up next.
I'll take myself for 25. I'll take Rain for 25.
Yeah.
Rainplosion for 25. I can't bid.
I'll take Rain for 27.
I'll take Rain for 30.
For 30? Okay. Broseph, it's up to you to bid up Rainplosion.
There's no way she gets it.
You have to make this number fair.
You have to make it fair value because...
Rain for 31.
Okay.
You're passing
on yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, what? Okay. Rainplosion to Broseph going
6th.
Going twice.
Okay, I'll go myself for 32 then.
32, 32.
She has a bias against herself. She'd rather not draft
I
herself.
mean, you should just take 33. 33 is still a steal. Look at the draft value.
Look at the draft value. Look at the draft value.
Low.
Give me 33. Give me 33.
33 for Rainplosion. Going once.
Yeah, I mean 34 is still reasonable for myself.
Yeah.
There we go.
Man, I don't want to
very
spend
low.
money though. Man,
Very low relative to
You were eating playing.
You have your tripod. Hello.
Come on.
35. Give me for 35. Give me 35.
Spend your gold. You don't carry it to the next draft.
Give me a for 35.
35
You can have it.
Rainplosion.
You can have me for 35. I'm actually not
She
picking
made
this
me
one.
up.
Cowards.
All right. Lab 004 Rain going to Broseph for $35. All right. Who was the one that bid? Was that Broseph that bid?
Rain put herself up.
Okay, Broseph, what about you're up next?
I'll put Spencer for 25.
Okay.
28.
I'll take him for 29.
I'm out.
I'll take Spencer for 30.
31.
30. 33.
33 for Spencer.
34.
34. Going once. Going twice.
35. 35.
35.
This is so cheap for Spencer.
36.
It is because we see where the other values lay. If Rainplosion's at 35. Okay, 36.
She's at 37.
37, 38, 38 for Spencer. Going once, going twice. Sold Spencer for 38 to Broseph.
A bargain.
All right. Should we just let Rainplosion pick or Painplosion pick?
Did you pick someone?
All right.
I want to pick. I was getting contested. Hello.
It's unclear.
I'm trying to pivot to the uncontested players.
Yeah. Sure.
Playing the draft.
I'm gonna
the way
go.
Dog intended.
I'm gonna go with. So I'm up for next for bidding. I'm gonna go with replay for 13.
Yeah, Rain gets her here. Or him.
Yeah,
15.
Okay, I'm out. Bryce, it's only you that can bid.
Wait, I'm the only one who can bid. 28.
You're the only one who can pick.
28 for replay.
You get to pick everyone.
Okay. You
get to pick everyone.
You can take him.
Replay 28 to Bryce.
Oh.
So wait.
I thought you wanted
I think
replay.
everyone.
Oh,
You can have replay.
no.
I think everyone here.
Oh no.
So I picked Toronto, Tokyo. I picked Toronto, Tokyo. I pick I'll take Gria.
Okay.
Let's see. Poggy's been already picked.
Fortune cash out.
Toronto, Tokyo. Can I just pick my
Yeah.
like?
You can pick your team. You can pick your
Yeah,
team.
you pick the whole team.
You can drop it for 20 each. Just 20 each.
20 each, yeah.
Yeah. Toronto, Tokyo, Gria. I'll take Asa.
Ooh.
I think he's.
Do you want me to start naming people on the rankings that have not been picked yet? Robin, Karam, Milk. Those are the only ones who were ranked in the top 15. Then it's Soju,
Yeah.
T.I., Philip. JD has not been picked yet.
I mean, I don't think I'm picking. I'll take.
Bunch of lab members.
Man, I think it's might be like Robin Kermit. If I'm not
What about
sure.
Aaron Kuma, Barney, Upset Max? You're gonna leave all
Okay,
your
I'll
homies in the
take these
dust?
three. I'm gonna refrain for a bit, and then the rest of you can bid over like the people. And if you guys select the name I like, I'll just steal them.
Okay.
Oh, come on. All right. Bryce, you're up next for $1.
Who I put Robin up for $1. Can I get Robin for $1?
$2 on Robin.
Bullshit.
$7.
$8 on Robin.
I'll take Robin.
Okay. Rain, you're up next for bidding. You have to bid, technically.
I was just sitting here window shopping.
Yeah, but you have to bid on somebody.
Yep.
The operations info, you have to bid on somebody.
I mean, I'm going to take Kurum.
Okay, Kurum is...
I'll just take Kurum.
So Kurum and Robin songs. All right, Broseph, you're up next.
I mean, I'll make my strategy easy. I'll take myself for 1.
Nice. Dan,
I'm out. I'm out.
Okay. All right. I like it.
I'm out. Rainplosion or Painplosion, would you like Broseph for more than $1?
He can have himself. I'll let him give himself for value.
I get both of us.
Okay, great.
Only one of you believes in the lab, by the way.
Just only one of you believes in the lab. The other is
the more patriotic lab member.
One of you believes in one of us believes in labs. One of us believes in econ.
I will take milk for $7.
Just rain.
Just rain or pain. I'll take milk.
I'll take milk.
No.
Okay, so
I don't know if you wanted him or not. I don't know if you wanted him.
I have a terrible tournament history against this guy. I actually, as a tournament player, I am so annoyed at this guy. Oh my god, he's actually griefed me every single tournament, multiple times. It's so bad.
In an interesting plot twist, I'm now in the driver's seat. But Bryce, you're up next.
I mean, am I understanding correctly that Press event has not been picked yet?
That is correct.
I bid $1 on Press event.
I bid $7 on Press event.
No, my $7.
I have Press event for $7.
Okay,
Broseph, you bid?
Yeah. Okay, I'll pick. Fuck it, I'll make Barney happy. I'll pick Philip for 7.
Philip for 7. Okay, I'm out. That's yours.
Yep.
I'm up next. I get to pick 2 players here, basically. I'll pick my last. Yep. All right, I'm going to go with Michael from LATAM. This guy is a beast. I can't believe no one actually talked about him.
He was who I wanted in that spot.
Okay. Yeah, you're not getting it from $1. Nice try, man.
Hey, worth a shot.
And then the last person I'm going to go with. Oh man, there's actually a lot of names. I'm gonna show some respect and pay it forward. I think T-Lides is underrated. I'm going to go with T-Lides last pick.
Okay. I will take Ego Illusions.
Ego, okay. A guy who's made it as well. Okay, cool. So that is all well and good. I actually have a bonus section for fantasy that we're going to reveal. This is actually going to be bonus points kickers, and it's going to be questions for extra points. And so if you get them right, you get extra points. This is a way for you to play catch up if your picks are wrong. So first question, how many North American refs make it to the final lobby? Bryce, you go first.
5.
5. Rain. It's between 1 to 8.
Can we take the same number as someone else?
Yes, you can take it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just yes.
Oh, she's looking.
I have to go. We got to rip these answers.
Rain, please rip it.
6.
6. Bro,
I keep reading myself.
Also 6.
Okay, I'm gonna go with 5. Question number 2. It's white. How many top 15 PR players make it to day 3? It could be between 1 and 15. Start with Rain.
8.
Broseph.
12.
12. I'm gonna go with 5. Bryce.
7.
Okay, question number 3. Who has the best AVP between LATAM and Brazil? There's only one of 2 options, LATAM or Brazil. I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna say LATAM. Bryce?
I'm also taking LATAM.
Okay, Rain.
I think PR.
Broseph.
LATAM.
I'm hedging. I took the 2 top Brazilian players. So.
All right, that's true. Last but not least, the most important question for the kicker. Who is going dead last in this fantasy draft? Bryce, you're up first.
Rain.
Wait, I have a question.
I don't even have to. Oh, wait, no, wait. Broseph.
If you go dead last, and this makes you not go dead last, does this count? What, you get the points?
It does.
These are
Oh, no.
points.
I mean, it does. It's before point counts. So, yes.
Holy...
Correct. All right, Rain, you're up next.
Like, can I see like, where's the sheet for the draft?
Nope,
Like,
off the cuff.
Just off the cup. We don't have time,
Oh,
unfortunately.
okay.
we have to wrap the show, so
Broseph. Broseph, who are you going?
Me. I'm picking me.
Wait, there's no point in doing that, man, because if you're already last, it's fucked anyway. Anyone else?
Okay, fine.
I'm going with Broseph as well.
Oh, I don't want that.
All right. That was great. All right, thank you so much, you guys. On that note, a great fantasy draft. Thank you so much for playing along. Bryce, thanks for staying longer. Any final words before we let you go?
What a great episode. I had so much fun with you, too. Good luck this weekend. Play well. Hope everybody has fun.
All right, Rain and Broseph. Rain, any last words?
Dude, I saved 73 gold for Econi. I'm fucking going fast 9 next game.
All right. Broseph, thanks for joining the show, man.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, that's it. Short and sweet. Thank you so much, you guys.
Love it.
You can watch the Tacticians Cup #1 with the co-stream with me this weekend. I'm also going to be featured on the Teamfight Tactics channel. There's going to be some element to elevated production, but we'll let you guys know about it. If you missed any part of this episode, check out our socials right at this end card, youtube.com/@DTIYDK or anchor.fm/DTIYDK. From Frodan, Bryce, Rain, and Broseph, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time for more TFT action.